Well, we're going to get ready and we're going to go explore the Superstition Mountains. We're going to rent four-wheelers and see if we can find anything. I have been doing some study on the area, and there's so many stories about Coronado coming up, about all sorts of different men prospecting, trying to find gold in the Superstition Mountains. They were first named by the Pima Indians, a local group of Indians, and actually Coronado came up from Mexico in 1540. He had heard about the 7 cities of gold, and he and his men came up to discover and to bring that gold back to Mexico. The only problem is when he got here, the Indians refused to take him, to guide him at all, because they were afraid of the spirits or whatever that were in the mountains. So he and his men took off by themselves. And after a short time, his men began to disappear. Or they would find some of them that had been mutilated or their heads cut off. It, of course, was a terrible time for them, as a disappointment. And it was a very frightening time for those that remained alive. And he named them the Superstition Mountain. Another man from Mexico came up, Miguel Peralta, and he did discover the mine. And he shipped millions of pesos worth of gold back to Sonora, Mexico. The Apaches were angry at him for desecrating or being up in those mountains. And they planned an attack on he and his men. But he had heard about it ahead of time. And the next morning, he was packed up and ready to go. But they never made it out of there. They were all massacred. But the burros that they had packed up with gold in leather saddlebags had taken off. And for years and years and years after that, miners and prospectors and people that would go up into the mountains would find some of these sacks of gold. And the last one, I think, was found in 1904 when a man came in with some decayed leather of a saddlebag and gold. Then came the famous Dutchman. Actually, he was a German man from Germany, but they called him the Dutchman. And he was a prospector. He had come to the Superstitions and homesteaded north of the Superstitions. And from there, for 10 years, he looked throughout the area for gold. He was a prospector. Said that there are, thousands of plateaus and mesas and valleys. So there's lots of places to look. You could look for 10, 20, how many years, probably never find anything. Jacob Weiser, and they together somehow found the mine. There's 3 versions on what had happened and how they found it. One was that they just stumbled upon it, possibility. The second is that they killed some people. 2 men were working the mine, and they came up and they killed them, and they took the mine. Possible, but horrible. And the third is they had gotten a map of the area and the mine from a Mexican Don, who they said they had saved his life. Jacob Weiser disappeared. Said he was killed by Indians, or he was lost, or he was killed by the Dutchman. The Dutchman made many trips back and forth to Phoenix because the Superstitions are east of Phoenix. And he would spend his money on drink or whatever he wanted to spend it on, then he would go back up to the mountains. They said he came down for the last time, and he passed away in 1891. Immediately after that, many men took off for the Superstitions and tried to find that lost Dutchman mine. And there are hundreds of stories of man, gold, and death connected to the Superstitions. So the lost Dutchman mine is still lost. I don't know if there are people looking for it anymore or not. But pretty soon we're going to take off and we're going to travel the 50 miles to the mountains and rent a four-wheeler, and 4 of us are going to go up, and we might not discover any gold, but it's been rainy down here. It's been a rainy season, and the mountains are green. They're full of flowers and trees, and it's almost lush. So we will discover areas we haven't seen before. We'll go out and enjoy the beautiful world God has given us and each other's company, and be out in this glorious weather this glorious area of our country. If you're interested, there's a lot more information on the Lost Dutchman and the Superstition Mountains. It's really quite interesting, part of our Western heritage, our legends. I thought I saw a glint of gold up in the crevice. They call gold that's floating or at the bottom of these streams tracings. And I'm looking to see if there are any. Can we see any glint of gold at all? Not in this one. Well, we'll adventure on. We stopped here because we thought we saw the Lost Dutchman and his mule walking up there in one of the little trails up there. He's looking for his mine, and thus we're doing the same thing. Have you two been traveling?
Well, together only a day.
Okay.
I've been on the trail for 19 days.
Yes.
Started the Mexican border, on my way to the Utah border.
Wonderful. How many miles is that, do you know?
Right here is about 315 miles. Total is about 800. So.
Wow. Wow. And you're hiking the whole mount.
He's doing the whole amount.
Yeah. And you're going to do a day or two, or?
I'm doing 4 days.
Okay.
4 solid days.
We're going to go to Roosevelt together. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Today's day 2. I'm feeling it. We went up a mountain today.
Oh, we did too, and I'm feeling it.
Yeah, it's been beautiful. Wildflowers. We saw a Gila monster yesterday.
I know. It's gorgeous.
Yeah,
It's
last
gorgeous
night
out.
we camped in a corral downtown.
Okay.
Stone wall.
Oh, how nice. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I bet. Well, it's a beautiful country, isn't it?
That is.
Okay. Well, thank you, dears.
Thank
Good
you.
luck, and God bless and
Thank
protect you on your travels.
Thank you much.
You're
To you
welcome.
too.
Take
Yep.
care.
Safe
You
ride
Have a good
today.
day.
Where do you suppose that gold mine is? These are California poppies. And many of the hills are ablaze with these beautiful colors. Is this part of the gold? There's a million little sparklies in it. No? Maybe this is just fool's gold. We had a wonderful time exploring the Superstition Mountains. And like I suspected, it was lush and green and beautiful. So it was fun, it was exciting. We didn't find any gold, but we had a wonderful time.